So we're going to have your feet roughly underneath your hips. So you want to think about having your hips, knees and feet stacked one on top of the other. Nice and tall through the body. So if you think almost about kind of lifting up all the way from your pelvic floor up through the chest, and then imagine that helium balloon pulling you up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we want to think about how the weight's distributed underneath your foot. So you should have your heel, big toe, little toe in that nice triangle. And you want your weight evenly distributed through those 3 points on both feet. So try not to kind of come across onto one leg. And then from here, hands on your hips. We're just going to do a few little circles. So to begin with, we're just going to take the weight forwards into the balls of the feet. And then we're just gently going to come around to the side, come back into the heels, and then all the way around again. So just keeping nice and tall still. So you want to be in that nice straight line. So try not to kind of move just from the hips. And really think how that feels underneath your feet as the weight moves across that triangle and then comes back into the heels. So we're just going to do one more. And then we're going to change and we'll come back around the other way as well. So again, it's just feeling underneath the foot, how the transfer of weight feels differently, how you can feel it through into your calf, your hamstrings, probably into your glutes, and how that changes as you shift your weight around. We'll just do one more. And then I'm going to get you to get your spiky ball or your tennis ball. We're just going to do a little bit of soft tissue work underneath the feet, and then we'll do a load of balance work as well. So to begin with, I'm going to get you in your nice standing position, even though we're going to be rolling the ball onto one foot. So think about having your hips nice and level, nice and tall. Don't lock your knee out. And then with the other foot, you're just rolling from the toes to the heel and then back again. So get that full length movement in. Don't just get into the arch. You want to get all the way up to around the toes, all the way into the heel. And try not to lock the opposite knee out whilst we're in this position. So you're balancing on one leg while we're doing this. And then make sure you're getting into the outside portion of your foot as well. So right around on the outside. Again, don't just focus on the arch when you do these. And then you're going to take that ball, have it right underneath your arch, and we're just going to squash the ball down as much as you can, and then just gently release. So we'll just do a few of those, so really put your weight all the way through. And again, don't lock that opposite knee out while we're doing this. And then you're going to take the ball underneath the foot, underneath the forefoot to the front of the toes. And again, think about squashing the ball down into the floor. So try and get as much weight as you can through. Obviously, it depends how hard and spiky the ball is that you'll be using. And then we're going to come to the heel and we're going to do the same thing again. So pop your toes onto the floor, push the heel down, bring your knee across in front of the toes. So you get that nice ankle movement through as well. And change the angle that you're doing this. So rotate your foot round as you do it, so you get that full movement all the way through your ankle. And then bring it back so the ball's underneath the toes again. Take your heel to the floor. And again, we're going to bring the knee in front of the toes. So we're getting that stretch through the back of your Achilles and your calf as well. And then we're going to just swap sides. So again, make sure you're in a good position on the foot that we've just done. So foot, knee and hip should be stacked, hips are level, take the weight onto that leg and then roll the opposite foot. And again, get that full length through, don't just do the arch. As much as possible, try and keep nice and tall as well. I know we keep looking down, but ideally we want to be looking up. And again, make sure you're getting down the outside portion of your foot as well. So rotate the foot onto its side, try and get along that outside edge. And then into the middle of the arch. And again, we're squashing the foot on top of the ball, so getting that nice deep pressure. And then same underneath the forefoot, so pushing down into the floor. And then into the heel, and this time take your toes to the floor, push down into the ball as you bend that knee. And this is where we want to change the angle of the foot as we go around. And then fall back underneath the toes, take your heel to the floor. And again, we're taking that knee over the toes as we push down. Woo. Just do one more. And then just pop your ball to the side, and we're going to do our little circle movements that we've just done again. So you should feel that your foot's a little bit flatter probably. You should be able to feel the pressure underneath a little bit more in that little triangle we just talked about. So nice and tall, keeping your tummy gently pulled in. We're taking the weight forwards, and then we're going to do our nice controlled circular movements. And again, we want it should be a full body movement. We're not kind of rotating from the hips. We want to keep everything stacked one on top of the other. So think about ribs over hips the whole way round. We'll do one more. And then we'll change direction. And again, just think about how it feels underneath your feet. What happens to your calf as you come round. We'll do one last one. And then I'm going to get you to cross your right foot in front of your left. So you're going to be toe to heel, and we're going to just hold this position. So you may feel like you're a little bit unbalanced. Okay, so think about distributing your weight evenly between both legs. So don't just hold it on that back foot. We want both feet on the floor. Again, think about that triangle underneath the feet. And again, if you find it a bit easier, just bring those arms out to the side. If you can, I'm going to get you to close your eyes as well, just to see how good your balance is with your eyes shut. Mine's terrible. And again, it's all about just trying to feel underneath the foot, work out what your balance position feels like, so your body kind of gets used to the muscles being in that position. And then we're going to swap over, and we'll do the same on the other side. So cross your feet over. So other foot in front, toe to heel. And again, try not to take all that weight back. You want it evenly distributed, lifting up through the pelvic floor, nice and tall. And again, arms out to the side if we need. And we're going to get you to try and shut your eyes as well. See how long you can hold that position with your eyes shut. So keep your tummy pulled in, nice and tall. And then we're just going to relax out of this position. And if you've got enough space, I'm going to get you to walk in that position as well. So you can have your hands out to the side if it's easier, or on your hips. And we're going to do heel to toe walking, trying to keep looking straight ahead. So try not to look down to the floor, because we want to keep lifted up. So imagine we're walking along that tightrope. And then when you get to the other side of your room, you're going to walk backwards the other way. So toe to heel, coming back, nice and tall. And again, try and think about how that feels underneath the feet as we come back. And then we're going to do one more there and back as well. So again, if you need to, put your arms out. Try and find a point on the wall, look ahead. We don't want to be looking down and rolling forwards. And then again, we're going to walk backwards. So again, toe to heel. And then when we're done, we're going to do a little bit more single leg balance type work as well. So this time, you're going to come onto one leg. We're just going to hold our single leg balance position. So to start with, you want to think about that pressure underneath the foot again. We're going to take the weight across, keep your knees soft. Pelvis is nice and level, and we're just going to float our foot up off of the floor. So again, you want to think about that whole drawing up through the pelvis, chests up, nice and tall through the spine. So try not to lock that support knee out. We want to keep it slightly softened. And then we're just going to add a few little arm movements in from here. So we're just gently floating the arms up towards the ceiling. And breathing in, we're going to lower back down. Think about keeping your ribs stacked over your hips. So try not to lift the chest up too much as we float the arms up. And then on your next one, we're also going to add a leg movement in. So this time, as you bring your arms up, we're going to straighten the leg out in front. Ooh. And then as we bring them down, you're going to bend that knee. And again, just try not to lock that left knee out or that supporting knee. Tall ribs stacked over the hips. Don't worry about how far you're moving your arms. We're going to just do 2 more. And then we're going to take that foot to the floor, and we'll do those on the other side as well. So to begin with, get in a good position. Think about that triangle underneath the foot as we take the weight across. Knees soft, hips level, and then just gently float the foot up. So we'll just get nice and balanced and comfortable in this position first, and then we'll add those arm movements in. So don't lock the knee out. So breathing out, float the arms up. Breathing in as we come back down. And then on our next one, we're going to add that leg straightener in as well. So straightening the toes out in front as we float the arms up. And again, think about lifting up through the pelvic floor, just everything's drawing up towards the ceiling. We're going to do 2 more. And then we're going to take that foot to the floor. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to do a slightly different one this time. So again, hips level, knees soft. You're going to float your leg up. Bring your arms out to shoulder height. And this time we're doing a little chest opener movement. So floating the arms back, bringing them forward. So breathe out as we slide the shoulders back. Breathing in as we come back through. So don't lock that knee out. Think about that pressure underneath the foot, keeping that nice tripod. And on our next one, we're going to add a little leg movement in. So as we float the arms out to the side, we're going to sweep the knee to the side as well. So we're doing a little hip opener movement. And again, don't worry about how far you're going. We're just going to do 2 more. And then we're going to float that foot down, and we'll do the same on the other side. So again, hips nice and level, take that weight across the knees, soft, float the foot up, arms are out to shoulder height. So breathing out as we open the chest, breathing in as we come back in. And then again, on our next one, we'll just add that little hip opener. So floating the leg to the side, control and back in. So try not to let those hips rotate round. Think about keeping the hip bones pointing forwards. So it's almost like a glute clown movement. And 2 more. And then float that foot down. And this time we're going to do single leg balance by moving our leg backwards and forwards. So we've done similar ones to these before. So feet hip distance apart, we're coming into that kind of half squat position. And then think about hinging at the hips to bring your chest forward slightly. Nice position through the lower back, hands on the hips. We're going to take the weight onto your left leg. So breathing in, float the knee up. Breathing out, we're reaching the toe back. So you can tap the floor if you want, or you can slide the foot on the floor. But really focus on keeping that gap between your bottom rib and your hip bone the same. So this is what we want to concentrate on. And that's going to stop you from overextending and using your lower back. Keep that support knee bent. Try not to lock it out. So spring between the bottom rib and the hip bone, stay in the same length. We're going to do 2 more. Place that foot down, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So again, we're coming into that half squat, come forwards with the chest, with that nice position through the lower back, bring the weight onto that one leg, and then we're floating the knee up, reaching the foot behind. So think about trying to keep your hips level through this as well. And again, keeping that gap between your bottom rib and the hip bone the same. So tummy's pulled in, try and keep relaxed through the shoulders. We're just going to do 3 more. And then foot down to the floor. And then we're just going to do a tiny bit of upper body work in this position as well. So again, feet hip distance apart, that nice even pressure underneath, arms down by your side. And you're going to think about taking your thumbs out to about 45 degrees, taking the thumbs to the wall behind you, and then breathing in. We're going to control down. So it's almost like a Y shape. So thumbs are coming back, chest's opening up, breathing in as we come back down. So think about your shoulder blades kind of sliding back and down into your back pockets as we do these. So keeping that nice gap between the ears and the shoulders. So try not to hitch the shoulders up as we take the thumbs back. Just going to do 2 more. And then I'm going to get you to come up into that top position again, and we're going to hold the arms there, and we're going to do a little rotation, but I'm going to get you to do it in kind of 2 parts. So from here, nice and tall, breathing out, we're going to rotate round, and then take another breath out, and we're going to go a tiny bit further. Breathing in, we're going to control back to the front. So first breath out, go as far as we can. Second breath, just push it that tiny bit further, then come back through. Try and keep those arms in that same position, so the thumbs almost kind of touching the wall behind us. So we're opening out through the chest. Don't worry about how far you can go. These are very hard. We're just going to do 1 more to each side. And then just float those arms down when you've done. We're then going to do a little bit of a bow and arrow movement. I'm going to get you to be in a split stance position. So step forward with your left foot, right foot's behind, both feet on the floor. And again, think about that tripod underneath your foot, so we're nice and even with our weight. Hip bones pointing forwards, then arms out in front. Breathing out, slide the shoulder blade around the ribs, and then take that arm behind. So follow that movement with the head. Breathing in, we're going to come back through. And then same again to the other side. So follow the movement of the thumb. And that way you make sure that you actually get some spine movement and don't just move through the shoulder. Thinking about, again, lifting up. So we're drawing up through the pelvic floor, nice and tall through the chest. That helium balloon is pulling us up to the ceiling. We'll do 1 more to each side. And then we'll swap feet over. So bring your right foot in front, left foot behind, and again, both feet nice and evenly planted on the floor, hips are forward, drawing up through the pelvic floor, your ribs over your hips, and then breathing out, slide the shoulder blade, float the arm back. Breathing in, come back through. So don't worry about how far you're going with any of these. do one more on each side. And then plug your arms down. And we're going to do a couple of roll down variations as well. So I'm going to get you to cross your one foot in front of the other. And again, in this position, get your balance before we do anything. And then we're just going to do a little roll down. And we're going to do a little stretch while we're at the bottom. So breathing out, you can just gently nod the chin, heel down towards the floor. So it's really nice. You feel a nice big stretch through the lower back as we do these. And then we're going to take the hands across to the foot that's behind. I'm going to reach around and down towards the ankle. So don't worry if you can't get there. And we're just going to hold that position for a breath in. Try and relax into that position. Breathing out, come back to the center. And then breathing in, we're going to peel back up to the top. And then we're going to do that same movement again. So just keep the feet where they are. We're going to do another one on this side and then we'll swap. So we're peeling down towards the floor. Heavy through the arms. Feeling that nice stretch through the back as it opens up. And then in that bottom position, we're reaching the hands around to that back foot onto the ankle if you can. Hold for that breath in. Breathing out, come back to the center, and then breathing in. We're going to peel back up to the top. And then we'll cross the legs over the other way, and we'll do two the other way as well. So make sure you're comfortable before you do your roll down. So nice and tall, nod the chin, peel down to the floor. And again, don't worry about how far you're going with these, just work within your own range. And then nice and gently, we're trying to take those hands around to the ankle. It's nearly impossible on this side. Bring the arms back through and then peel back up to the top.